Live from the Preston Highway Studios, it's 24-hour Purple People. And now here's your host, John Harper.
Hello. Welcome back. We're glad to be back. It's 24-hour Purple People. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the program. My name is John Harper. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you along for the ride today as we are all set for episode 14, long awaited, 1 month in advance, behind, whatever you want to say. Glenn, this one's for you, buddy. We'll see you soon. Let's go to the main screen. First, I should explain red cards and yellow cards. If you get a yellow card, that's okay. But if you get 2 yellows, you're going to get a red. You're going to be muted for 1 minute. That includes myself. Today, Katie is in charge of the red cards for me. I don't know how that's going to work, but she is in charge of the red cards. Matt, I'm not sure how I feel necessarily about this situation with her being in charge of the red cards. I don't think it's really fair.
No home spouse advantage for you, Johnny. None. You know, I was going to ask what you did on your summer vacation, but I guess we could go over mine instead. I didn't get a tan. Let's just go to the checklist, right? I didn't get a tan. I didn't have a sexual awakening. A lot of people do that. Stella, in particular, she got her groove back on a summer vacation. I did binge drink a lot, so check that one off. But other than that, been a good staycation. I've missed you, though. Oh, you haven't missed me? That's fine. Silence. I'm met with silence. I'm pouring my heart out to you, Johnny. What? Hold on, I can read lips. What are you saying? Oh, yeah. No, I hear that, yeah. You know, a minute's a lot longer
Oh, my gosh.
than you think when you're timing it out.
And she's making popcorn. I can smell it.
How does that feel, huh? You do that to me like 3 times.
It doesn't feel good. I don't like being in this
doesn't.
box. I'm way too big on the screen. We're absolutely thrilled to be back and excited to be talking about all things Louisville soccer. First, we want to kind of get, yay. First, we want to kind of get a little caught up, Matt. Let's talk a little bit about Louisville City since we last saw them. Kind of started a little bit rough. We had the game at Tampa, but then started hitting our stride and some good games back-to-back, mostly without Cameron Lancaster as well. Catch us up. Catch the people up. What'd you see from Louisville City over the weeks that we missed episodes?
So since, like you touched on a little bit, since the 29th of May when we took our hiatus, we had that 1-0 loss to Tampa. That was on a PK. You could say that's against the run of play. I would. But after that little blemish, 4 straight wins against Orange County, Hartford, Birmingham, and then last night's win against New York. So in that span, Matiti has scored 4 times and Tosh has scored 3 times. Matiti, you could sort of see that coming, right? He's been on the verge of a breakout for a while now. But Tosh, I mean, if you called that one, you're an expert prognosticator, because the stalwart defender, I didn't see him putting too many in the back of the net at the beginning of the season, but I'm glad I was wrong, and I'm wrong a lot. On the downside, though, we did lose Kyle Morton to a pretty scary collision, and then Cameron Lancaster was a late pregame injury that's kept him out since June 18th. The possibility does exist that our hiatus is what powered the winning streak. And now that we're back, the season could fall into just complete disarray. And that's on us. That's the responsibility, the awesome responsibility that we hold here at 24-Hour Purple People.
Yeah, you know, you would think that the sky was falling after that Tampa match. Everybody was losing their mind on Twitter and everything else. Louisville City having 5 shots that game total. And we looked pretty bad. It just like we did not come to play. But those other games, the wins that we had against Orange County, against Hartford, they showed a lot of grit. I was especially impressed with the Hartford game because that environment was tough. It was a solid crowd. It was hot, very hot there. And Louisville City they've been passing very solid, and they've been finding ways to win. Against Orange County, they only had 7 shots. We're used to, always double-digit shots. So they're finding ways to win. They're drawing some great penalties in the box, making things happen. And, our penalty PK takers are executing when they need to. So that has been good. And, of course, last night was fantastic, which we'll talk about here momentarily.
Yeah, if you want to talk about double-digit shots, just wait until we start talking about this game from last night.
Yep, absolutely. And with Birmingham, too, that game they had 17 shots, and they played a much better brand, even though they gave up the go against Birmingham. They played a lot better and started coming into a form that we're more used to. And last night was definitely a game that reminded me of Louisville City of old. Those games, not since August of 2018 have we seen Louisville City with performance, a 6-0 victory against the Red Bulls. One last game against the Red Bulls, Matt. What'd you see from Louisville City out there?
Good riddance to the Red Bulls, first of all. They were sort of our earliest rival, but, they're a shell of what they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about this game for the next 2 hours and just make up for lost time since we've been away?
We really could.
Do you want to go through the blow-by-blow really quick?
Go, blow by blow them.
There's a lot. All right, hold on. I got this pulled up. So we're looking at, 14th minute, Ownby's on the board with a goal, right? That's after 14 minutes of really solid pressure on New York in their half. 23rd minute, Jorge with an assist from Enoch Mushagalusa gets on the board. 32nd minute, we've got the first of 3 Enoch Mushagalusa goals right before the half.
Matt,
32nd minute.
Matt,
yes.
Yes. Can I cut you off and say
Please.
that I forgot I have highlights.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the highlights.
Forget
the
me.
Fambulance showed up for the tailgate. Good to see the Fambulance and a very popular man there with the hat on. Oh, and Brad Estes. James O'Connor at the tailgate. Always good to see the front office and former front office around. I almost got the 10,000 bottle saved mark.
Oh, close.
Yeah, so close. Lots of smoke. Smoke was the theme last night at Lynn Family Stadium. Look at Brandon. What a strange-looking individual.
Oh,
yeah. Hey, so right off the bat, Brian Ownby. Wow.
Are we sure that's what happened? Look at that sun.
No, well, the sun.
Whoa. You've never. Oh, there we go.
This is actually the vision that you have to watch from the Estopanol end at this point in the contest.
Yeah, if you've never sat at the Estopanol end, this is a really accurate representation of what you're going to be looking at pretty much half of the game.
This corner deflection here, not a very good clearance from the Red Bull with that bicycle kick that went absolutely nowhere. Gonzalez finding space.
Like a stationary bike, right? A bicycle kick that goes nowhere.
Good one.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I would yellow card if we weren't in this highlight. Now, this is a little bit better. Nice little deflection you're going to see here momentarily as the capo stand was rocking back and forth. Header missed. Another poor clearance by the Red Bull. Now McCabe. Enoch.
Enoch's been finding space up there, so it was really only a matter of time before he kind of dug one in. Why was the capo stand rocking?
Because we were rocking, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know this is a far-away shot here, but really all you have to see is Brian Ownby, Enoch, right?
Oh, yeah. These are the kinds of finishes that you want to see from Enoch, too.
Oh, absolutely.
He's incorporated into the attack. It's just a thing of beauty.
Now, this is not the same play. This is not the same play, but it's the same result.
One guy goes wide, one guy goes down the middle. Rinse, repeat, repeat, repeat.
No, you can't beat it. And a random supporter gets a high five. That was nice.
Yeah, nice. Good for them. Good for them. All right, don't touch the players, kid.
Danny with a great save here. Oh, beautiful.
What wonderful minutes he's gotten off the bench in
Absolutely.
relief. Just such a luxury to have a guy that good backing up your number one keeper.
Yeah. And then once again, at the very end, Brian Ownby makes it 6-4 City.
Ownby he wants to do it himself this time. I like it. He's been giving it away. He's been unselfish.
And a 6-0 win, a record-setting, record-tying win for Louisville City. Fireworks after the game, appropriately colored red, as we'll never see the sugar-free Red Bulls again. How exciting that we're never going to see them again. Matt, 21 shots in total for Louisville City. A very, very impressive win there. What else did you see from City last night?
13 of those shots were on target too, John. Oh, you got a red. Good for you. 13 of those shots were on target, which is just fantastic. 17 shots from inside the box. I mean, we did it all. It was relentless from start to finish. Like I mentioned before, these are the kinds of finishes that you really want to see from Enoch. Ones where he's sort of incorporated into the attack rather than trying to find space by himself on the wings. Sometimes he gets sort of hung up out there. But hopefully this is the start of a trend where he's just so meshed into the offense. His hat trick is a big deal for a lot of reasons. For one, he enters rarefied air as the fourth player in team history to record a hat trick alongside club legends Matt Fondy, Chandler Hoffman, and the Cameron Lancaster. But maybe most importantly, right, he kind of emphatically established himself as a real threat on this team. And other guys, other teams, they got a plan for him now, right? If he can put up these kinds of performances, then you have to look out for him. You need to mark him. And the more of those guys we have on the team, the better, right? They open up space for everybody else to get in there and get some goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian Ownby coming up big with 2 goals, also 2 assists, a total team effort, and all without Wilson Harris and Cameron Lancaster. I think Louisville City could have beat just about any team in the country last night, the way they were playing.
Oh, yeah.
Red Bulls, not a great team, obviously, last place in the East, but still, Louisville City looked absolutely on fire, and that's what we love to see. And hopefully they'll continue that trend going. This little streak of wins here have been very good. This is about the time of the year where we do see a little bit of a downturn at times in performance, and not so much as of late. Looking really good coming up into a match we'll talk about later with Memphis 901. Well, moving on to something maybe not as fun to talk about.
I wanted to talk about Ownby some more.
I know, right? Well, we can talk about Ownby some more if you want. Racing. Since our last episode, we have lost a lot of players. Some significant names, to say the least. Matt, when you look at all these losses of racing, and not on the pitch, although there were those as well, any particular players stand out to you that was most concerning or confusing or made you go,
So for me, definitely it was CC Kaiser, who for a while I thought was the only person who could really sort of generate any sort of attack. She made really cutting runs that really set us up really well in the midfield. She actually just scored for Kansas City. They're playing at the moment.
Right now?
If you'd allow me, John, I can go through all the roster turnover we've had.
I would love it.
Yeah. So on June 9th, we sent Addison Merrick and CC Kaiser to the KC Current for $150,000 and an international roster spot. On the 13th of June, we waived defender Aaron Simon. On June 27th, we sent Ebony Salmon to the Houston Dash for another $150,000. Along with that, it was not. It wasn't a fun look. There was a lot of off-field, I guess, murmuring about the time Ebony left. A lot of people in the fan base were sort of confused as to what the fuck was happening with racing. But in July, we finally made some signings, right? We got national team replacement players, ZZ Wine from West Ham. We got Louisville native and W League player Allison Whitfield, former high school teammate of Amina Ekic. Our biggest splash in July, though, was bringing in recent African Women's Footballer of the Year, Timby Katlana.
Yep.
We paid an undisclosed transfer fee to her to bring her in from Atletico Madrid. Timby will join the team after the Africa Cup of Nations, which ends on July 23rd. So we do have a little bit of a stretch without her, but excited to have her in Lavender for sure. And also on July 7th, we signed a pair of national team replacement players in Hannah Adler and Isabella Belitek. Belitek moved to the senior team from Racing's USLW League squad, while Adler arrived in Louisville after a stint with Danish club Aalborg BK. So that was a lot in kind of a short amount of time.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
And I understand the concern. I definitely do. I think, and it's hard to say sometimes when you want results on the pitch, obviously, and you want them. When do we want them? We want them now, right? We don't want to we don't want to wait until later in the season. We don't want to wait till next year. We don't want to build something. But hey, don't let Louisville City fool you in a sense. I think our fan base is used to winning right off the bat. That is not usually the case with new franchises in any sport, right? It's very hard for a team to win right off the bat. Rome wasn't built in a day, except for Louisville City. So we have to realize that this thing is going to build. I trust Coach O'Connor. I trust Coach Kim. I feel like they're giving him more of a free rein to make some selections that best fit his system. I don't like them all necessarily. I hated losing Cece.
Seriously.
It's just tough.
One of my favorite players.
Absolutely.
I mean, she's with us from the beginning, right? We took her in the expansion draft, so
she had the Baby Shark song.
The Baby Shark song.
Yeah.
Did she
CC
write
Kaiser,
that?
do CC Kaiser, do CC Kaiser. No. You don't remember that one?
To touch on what you were saying, I mean, you can name in all major sports leagues, be they soccer or football or baseball, you can name on like one hand the number of expansion teams that really came in and from the beginning were sort of in the mix and contending in those leagues. Like, it just doesn't happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
City is a real abnormality when it comes to that. And even teams, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Didn't they weren't in the beginning and their NFL run? I think they were going to AFC championships, but it wasn't sustained, right? Like, the foundations need to be built up. And I think that we're still in the process of building up those foundations. And I think some of the moves, looking at them more long-term, putting them into perspective, I do think that they're going to pay off.
Yep.
I'm really interested to see what Timby does, but yeah, for right now, it's not fun. It's not super fun to see some of your favorite players leave,
No, it's not. It's definitely not. But we do have to trust the system, give it a little time. And I can tell you, trust the process. And they have looked better performances all around, I think, especially against Gotham. Unfortunately, it did not amount to a win against Gotham, but they did look better against Gotham, and that'll be our next topic. So Gotham came to town on Friday evening at Lynn Family Stadium. Good to see Michelle Betos, although she did not start back at Lynn Family Stadium. Always a fan favorite. So, when you look at these stats, Racing had 24 shots. They had great passing accuracy. Why? What was it that made this a loss for Louisville on Friday night? What stood out? Was it just a little bad luck here or there? What did you see?
I mean, Gotham did everything they could to give us the lead, right? Like, they fouled us over and over right outside the box to give us some free kicks. And as we've seen in games past, we have some really lethal set piece takers, right? They gave us multiple shots inside of the box. And after all of that, I mean, it was 20 solid minutes of pressure where we're just knocking on the door and you're thinking we're going to put one in at some point, right? After all of that, we're down 1-0, right? It was just all encompassing deflation after that. It just, it wasn't that we went down a goal. It's how it happened, right? Off of one, misstep defensively. It really, one mistake after so many chances, and that we have to come from behind yet again. I mean, we were firmly on the front foot, not only for the majority of the first half, but for much of the second half as well. Savannah DeVello even managed to put us on the board in the 67th minute after picking off a pass in the midfield and just doing it her damn self on the attack. Racing actually outshot Gotham 24-9, and they doubled Gotham in expected goals 1.98 to 0.91, right? But Herman's Hermits will tell you that sometimes the second verse is the same as the first, right? And we had some good knocks on the door for that go-ahead goal in the second half. But particularly after Freya Olafsson came in and gave us a real shot in the arm off the bench, but it was one long errant pass in our half from Bonner and a missed marking on Taylor Smith from Leicester that put us down again. One mistake, again, against the run of play, and that was all it took.
Herman's Hermit reference. I was not expecting that whatsoever. So
yeah, that's for you, 60s music nerd.
Yeah,
I got a quote.
Here's a red card for you. That one's for you, actually. I was at that game on Friday evening, and there was a little bit of fire going on. Not literally fire, but there was some major stuff happening on the sideline. Mario getting into it hardcore with the coach of Gotham. There was some words, and according to my sources, there was a little backstage F-bombs and things going on Friday night. These teams might be building up a rivalry. I'd ask for your opinion on that, but you're red carded right now. These teams are definitely. It was getting pretty chippy, but unfortunately, Racing drops down to 10th on the table. With the league, the way it's set up with the NWSL, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're completely out of things at this point in the season. I think that if we tweak some things here or there, we had 9 corner opportunities. It's like we have to start converting on some of these opportunities. We just keep missing the best chances that we have to score, and you have to score to win. So, you can look at stats all day and say, well, we had great passing accuracy, and we do look at those stats because right now we're wanting something positive to come out with this club that we've lost a lot of players. We lost some fan favorites. We're not producing well on the pitch. We're playing at freaking NASCAR tracks. What is going on?
What was that about? What a weird crossover. Who asked for that? Who was that for?
Well, there's a ton of NASCAR and NWSL fans out there.
Yeah. When I think NASCAR, I think NWSL. They go hand in hand. They're like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, it's the dumbest
So Coach Kim, after the game, touched on, was asked about Nadia, right, and touched upon all of the international players who were out, who were really kind of hamstringing us, right, especially defensively with Emily Fox being gone.
Yep.
And he talked about how we can't rely on Nadia, right? Like we can't. She can kind of create for herself. She scored a brace in like 5 minutes the other game.
Yeah,
just crazy. She's such a good player, but we can't rely on her. We have to finish these chances. We're the real big statistical category that we're sort of in contention for the lead with is big chances created. Like we're doing well there. We just can't finish. Coach Kim, after the game, I got a quote here. We played well until they scored their first goal. Then the energy dropped a little. We created enough chances to win the game. We had more shots, more possession, and all of the things like that. But it feels like the same old story. We have too many mistakes that are costing us points. And that sums it up, right?
Yeah. And, I see what he's saying, but you really don't want your energy to drop after a goal. You want to actually double and get one back. But, it can be a little deflating as a player, obviously. And we don't want to use excuses out there of having those players, but we are missing our key components on this squad right now, and we'll be getting them back soon. So hopefully by the time we do, things will be turned around, and that will help turn things around for Racing. Still plenty to play at this point in the season. We're not completely out of it. Not that many teams in the league at this point. 2 more teams coming in a couple of years, so I heard. But right now, it's still a small size that we can get right back in this thing. So I think we have a good chance of that. I feel like if we start converting on these opportunities, we can make it happen. So if you are watching us, don't forget you can join in on the live chat. It's also on the screen, so your name will be on there.
Wow.
And, yeah. And
you're on TV.
Katie actually is singing Henry VIII I Am. See what you
Oh,
did
what a great song.
with
What a
your,
great
yeah.
song.
I do like
You,
Herman
Katie.
Hermits. Yeah, I do like them. I do like them.
They're the working man's Beatles.
That's a good way to look at them. All right. Well, moving right along. Racing is going to have a chance to possibly make some things happen. Unfortunately, they're going to have to be making it happen against the best team in the NWSL in this young season, San Diego Wave. Catch a wave. They might be catching one very soon in San Diego as we head out next weekend to play Alex Morgan and the San Diego Wave, a team that is, like I said, in first place, a very solid team. Matt, I found it very interesting doing a little research on the Wave. You know, they don't really have, they're not the best team in any category, really. So that's scary. That means they're playing.
Yeah, but they're top 2.
Yeah,
in
well,
every category.
Well,
yeah, they're
on
right
a few, on a few, but you know, they are a what was that for? They
deserved.
Yeah, Katie is in control of my red cards and yellow cards. If you folks are just tuning in, but yeah, so heading out to San Diego, a tough squad, obviously. Alex Morgan, a legend. You know, I feel like it's a beatable team. I feel like they're a great team. They draw a good amount of penalties, and they know how to win. But we have to keep our composure and not, you know, don't feel like they're not beatable because they are, right?
Yeah. So let me start off with some what you would consider a drag, I suppose. So we're winless on our last 6, right? And it's really going to be an uphill battle to sort of not be winless on our last 7, right? We've got this cross-country road trip. First of all, we've got a late start. It's a 10 p.m. Eastern start time.
Yeah.
So go ahead and get your nap in mid-afternoon if you're old and tired like me. So the waiver's sitting at the top of the table, right? They're 6-3-3. They got a 2-point lead over the Red Stars currently. Of those 3 losses, those have been against teams. 2 of those have been against teams that are kind of firmly above the playoff line, right? Most recently, they lost to Angel City on Friday. But the biggest blemish on their record has been the 1-0 defeat that we handed them back at Lynn on May 18th, right? So they're going to be welcoming us to Cali with revenge on their mind. Savannah DeMello had the lone goal in that game, by the way. Savannah DeMello, who should be Rookie of the Year, calling it now. I mean, just really coming on for us, having a tremendous season. They're averaging a goal and a half per game and are anchored by Alex Morgan, as you said. She's got a real good chance of adding NWSL champion to her beyond impressive resume right now.
Right.
This team scares me. I mean, they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
They're not a steamroller necessarily, and we do have 11 games left in the season, so we're not out of it yet. But it would be huge to pick up just a single point on this road trip. That would be fantastic. I really want to see us perform well, even outside of just not to talk about wins or losses, right? Just to see us perform well would be a real big uptick, right? San Diego top 2 in the league in most statistical categories, right? But statistics are numbers, and numbers are for nerds, as far as I'm concerned. I just want to see a good showing. All right. Just 90 full minutes of locked in racing soccer against, the top team in the league. I think it'll accomplish a lot. And we've beaten them before, right? A point or maybe a win is huge and is exactly what we need to cross that playoff line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, racing is, as you talk about, numbers are for nerds, and I don't necessarily disagree, but they have been putting out a very good. I don't know what you just said, but it was about me. They have been putting out some good numbers. It's just learning how to win, converting on those opportunities. The Wave have some explosive players. Alex Morgan, Sophia Jacobson has been very solid so far this year in the early going. I've been impressed by watching some of the highlights of some of their games, and it's a fresh franchise. It's got a solid backing. It's going to be a great match out there. just a lot of travel. That's a long way to go, obviously, about as far as you could possibly go. I guess minus maybe Seattle, but
I was going to say that's got to be our longest, flight of the year, right?
Yeah, for sure. So it's going to be tough, but like I said, not beatable. And hey, Alex Morgan. I mean, who's ever heard of Alex Morgan?
Red card. Should I sing a song now? I don't think so. We've been away for so long that nobody wants to hear that. Let's see. I went over my summer vacation checklist last time. What should I do now, John? What should I do? You're shaking your head no. Do you have a tear in your eye? Is that what I'm seeing? Just no. Your mic doesn't work. Again, I'm unaccustomed to being the one to be able to talk. Usually I'm between Glenn and John, and I don't really get a word in edgewise. So that's why I'm rambling. Racing. City. This is good. What are you doing? What is it? You're punting? Are you fighting? You're pointing up. You're pointing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're back.
Thank you. Thanks for the red card. I'm the host of the show, right?
Yeah, we need him.
I should never have given her the access to that. That was a very
She's
bad
gone mad
idea.
with power.
Mad with power.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
happens to everybody.
And somehow I still have a yellow. Can you take me off the yellow? Should take me off the yellow. All right. Well, let's see what happens. We'll be optimistic for racing. My fingers are crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So last topic of the evening. Louisville City heads to Memphis to AutoZone Park. You know what? O'Reilly's Park is a lot nicer down there. Hey-oh, thank you.
Where's that yellow? Katie, can I get a yellow, please?
No, don't give me yellow. So the AutoZone Park heading down there next Saturday for a huge matchup against the Memphis 901, a team that is only behind City in second place in the Eastern Conference of the USL. In honor of Glenn, I wanted to point out that this is a 5-hour drive from Louisville and has a lot of things to do, I guess. Famous for what? Ribs and Elvis? Something like that. Maybe
yeah, blues music.
Yeah,
and 3-6 Mafia.
3-6
Yeah.
I like
the
that.
Movie Hustle and Flow.
That's a good reference right there. I like that one. Matt, when you look at this Memphis 901, this is a pretty solid team sitting with 38 points on the table. What do you see out of Memphis? Who we have to look out for? Those kind of things.
So if you've been paying any sort of attention to the table so far this year, you'll notice that we've sort of traded first place back and forth with Memphis. They'll have an earlier kick than us and then go back up top, and then we'll play and go back on top.
Mm-hmm.
We traded first place back and forth, right? They're currently a point behind us after a 3-1 win at home against the floundering Phoenix Rising team on Saturday rather. And while the 901 have won 3 of their last 4, and if you want to go even further back, they've won 7 of their last 10, which again is impressive. Only 2 of those victories have been against teams that are above the playoff line, right?
Right.
It is tough, however, to ignore that the team numbers they're putting up, they're comparable to us in almost most categories, right? And those include goals scored, those 35 to our 40, shots on target, that's 98 to our 108, and goals conceded, 17 to our 14. But what might be the biggest factor, I think, is home field. No one, not even us, has been better at home this year than Memphis. But hey, it's not as if we're not unaccustomed to playing on uneven turf, right? They play on a baseball field. A lot of our guys are used to doing that. I'm looking for 2 things from this match, right? Is Memphis the real deal? To me, Louisville City is the litmus test in this league. To be the man, you got to beat the man. If Memphis is Memphis really a contender? I don't know. Standings are important, but unless you can go out on the pitch and hang with us, I don't really consider you a contender. Yep. The second thing I want to see is a little bit of separation, right? As previously mentioned, we've been trading the top of the table back and forth. This could be the game that really cements us as conference leaders for a long while. In terms of players, the 901ers that we're going to need to look out for are Philip Goodrum, who was their leading scorer. He also has a really great pirate name, Goodrum. Just fantastic stuff. Irishman center mid Aaron Malloy and former Colorado Rapid left mid Jeremy Kelly. They have been really adept at finding Goodrum in their preferred 4-2-3-1 formation. So bottling up those three guys is going to be key.
I see what you did there.
We're going to, yeah.
I see what you did there. Yeah, very good.
So Tosh and Winder are gonna have. They got tough assignments, but I think we can go down there. I think we can at least get a point off of this team. I'm gonna be cautious and not say that we're gonna blow them out after that 6-0 victory, but I think we're gonna at least go into their house and get a point. I think that is very doable for this team right now.
I feel like the way we're playing right now, the form we're playing in, especially without Cameron Lancaster, recently without Harris, who's out with the rib injury. I feel like we're going to go down there and we're going to get a win. We are the measuring tape in the USL. There is no question about it. We are the measuring tape in the USL. Hey, the Summer Showcase Showdown of the Immortals is in Louisville. No other city. On a random Wednesday evening right after some bigwigs get out of a meeting or whatever. It's in Louisville, Kentucky. Mike Watts and Devin Kerr are going to be in Louisville, Kentucky. We are the measuring
on
tape.
Location.
On location. We are the franchise, and this is the biggest game in the history of Memphis 901, without question, in my opinion. Can you have without question and an opinion? No. Screw the opinion. It's the biggest game in the history of O'Reilly Auto Parts FC. And I'll tell you another thing.
I think they've only been in the playoffs like once, right?
Right. So
this might be their biggest game in their history. Yeah,
it's their championship. It's the championship mid-season for Memphis. It's put up or shut up, and I appreciate the support in Memphis. They have a great supporters. Playing. We know what it's like. We sympathize with you on that baseball diamond. You're not AAA. You're USL. You've earned it. You're right in the championship with us. However, you're up against the best team in the USL. I'm confident about this one, Matt, if you can't tell. I feel really good. I think, they do have a lot of offensive weapons. I don't think you mentioned Aaron Molloy kind of quietly having a solid season. Not a name that you hear much about. They have a very solid defense. But I feel like that we can really tear them apart in some ways. They possess the ball really terribly. They're 17th in possession in the USL right now. And I think that's something Louisville City can really capitalize on. I think they capitalized on that with a lot of other teams this season, especially here recently, and I think they'll capitalize at Memphis come this weekend. It's going to be a huge match. It's huge for both teams. Obviously, we're not going to be overconfident. Danny, before the game against the Red Bulls, I don't know if you saw some of the highlights, but, we have the cameras in the locker room, and he was basically saying, you go out, you score your first goal, you go from there, but do not take the Red Bulls lightly. Do not take this team. Don't look at their record, blah, blah, blah. For that to be the speech against the Red Bulls, this team has a mentality. Every team is a threat to us, right? And I think that we're going to go into this game with a lot of confidence. I feel like it's going to be interesting to see how long Wilson Harris is going to be out. Cam, I believe, is in good he's ready to come back. I think they just gave him one more week off.
Is that what your sources told you?
My sources. All these sources are from the tailgate. Folks, if you don't go to the tailgate, you can get some really great information. But my
and some really great burgers and barbecue. Just all kinds of great shit at the tailgate.
Hang out some really great people. So come on down.
You can hang out with us.
Yeah. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if Cam comes back. But the way this team's playing right now, and if it, Enoch Mushagalusa had some incredibly great assists given into him with these goals. But if he gets hot, okay, and if he starts hitting his stride, I've been critical of him a little bit. I think
both of us have. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a little critical of him and his ball control and things like that at times. But I feel like that when he plays in the position that he played in against the Red Bulls, and when this team's clicking, you better look out. I mean, this could be a point in the season where we really turn it on. And I feel like that Tampa game, it might have been a bit of a little wake-up call. You go down there and just put out a dud performance. Because since then, it has been fine, win the game, find a way to win, fight and win, for lack of a better term. And I feel like Louisville City gets it done and remains in first place come this weekend.
I think we got to give, not that we got to give, when speaking on Matiti and his hat trick, we've got to give OMB a lot of credit also for drawing so much attention that he was able to leave a striker as formidable as Matiti completely uncovered for like 2 of those 3 goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
OMB is his deadliest when he's a diversion and he can distribute to the rest of the squad.
Absolutely.
And he's embraced that so damn well. So yeah, they've got Malloy and they've got Goodrum, but do they have OMB, right? It's just no wonder to me that with the quality of attackers that we've got this year around OMB, that he's been able to put up sort of a career year in purple, I think. He really is on a different level than everyone else out there. And I know that there's a lot of season left, but if he's not getting looks for league MVP as the most valuable player on the best team, I don't know who should be getting those looks. So
yeah, and rightfully so. Brian Ownby and Mushagalusa shared the man of the match. You don't see that very often. Shared the man of the match. Not sure exactly how
well deserved, man.
Felt about that, but yes, they did. They both felt it was well deserved. Yes, you said it right. Yeah.
Damn
So yeah, I thought about making that trip. I've always wanted to go to Memphis. I've never been. I've always wanted to see.
If you make that trip, I'll make that trip right now.
I've always leave right now.
You're gonna make that trip. I'm going. Yeah, let's go right now.
I mean, it's not until next weekend.
Let's
right?
make that trip. Let's do it. We're making plans live on air. This is great.
Yeah. My social security number is, a lot of people I think will make that trip before Louisville City obviously travels well. There was probably a dozen fans in Hartford, which was crazy. And then there was Sean Tosh's family. So, I mean, there were about a dozen Louisville City fans in Hartford, and then all the Sean Tosh's family was probably another dozen.
So yeah, a dozen Toshas, a dozen City fans. Yeah.
Right. No, not a bad drive. Well, just under 5 hours, not a bad drive. And like I said, AutoZone Park has been AutoZone Fortress for Memphis. So, but I'm just very confident right now with the way we're looking out there. I feel like we've got a very good shot at winning this game and continuing getting things going in a positive direction for Louisville City, which, right now they're about as positive as can be after winning a game 6-0. So
it's going to be a heavyweight matchup, man. It's going to be a brawl down in Memphis. So it should be a very fun match. Whether you watch here locally or if you make the trip to Memphis, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, absolutely. What else, Matt? Is that about it?
I think we sort of wrapped it up. We've been trying to. We're aiming for a little bit of a streamlined show for you guys. Yeah, streamlined. I think that about covers it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have some other things just to let you guys know about. We have a new Instagram page. Now, I know nothing about Instagram. If you watched our very first post on Instagram was me accidentally holding down the button and filming myself on the car ride. It was an accident. I was trying to figure out how exactly to do that. You thought I planned that?
I thought it was like a meta thing. I thought that was good. Yeah, I was going to compliment you on that.
But yeah, so we are on Instagram. So look us up at 24-Hour Purple People. Don't forget about our Twitter and Facebook. And of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's right here. We're very excited to be back. We're looking forward to future episodes. We're hoping Glenn will be back soon. We're going to probably have some special guests along the way and guest ring announcers, if you will.
Yeah.
A little wrestling term. We did a couple of things you might have noticed or not noticed. We got rid of the clock because the clock was 60 minutes. The clock, the whole point was like, oh, yeah, soccer's got a clock. It goes up. But the soccer clock's 90 minutes. And we're never going to do a 90-minute episode. It was just, I got enough buttons here to take care of. So one less button for me is great.
I got to watch. That'll be fun. Yeah. It's no big deal.
so just a few changes, nothing major. We are going to continue to have some commercials from time to time, but maybe not in the same format that we've done before. Just, I don't know, just kind of like you said, streamlining it. Maybe keep the shows a little bit shorter so we can all get a good night's rest. I know we all need that. And yesterday, Matt, lots of people asked about Glenn, and they asked a lot about Katie, and we are hoping they both get well very, very soon. Katie has gone from pneumonia to bronchitis to whatever, and she's tested 6 times for COVID. She probably doesn't want me telling everybody this. And all 6 for negative.
Everybody write this down.
Yeah, so I think she's getting well, but she's coughed herself into an oblivion. Her ribs are hurting and all sorts of fun stuff like that.
Nobody wants that. Get well, Katie. Get well, Glenn. Get well. You know what? If you're at home, and I'm not going to mention you specifically, just you get well too. Even if you're pretty good, just get well.
Yeah. Everybody get well.
Weller.
Get well, damn it.
Get good, get well.
But we appreciate everybody watching. We hope that you hit that like button while you're here. That helps us get seen a little bit. We appreciate
Share
that.
with your friends. Let everybody know. Sing the praises of the 24-hour Purple people.
Katie says I had a HIPAA violation. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's you're going to be meeting with HR.
But yeah, so she is HR.
It was also
in this
Katie.
house. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Follow us on all the socials. Hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel for more ridiculous content. And for Matt Dalton, I am John Harper. We will see you later, folks. Keep it purple, Louisville. We love you guys. Glad to be back. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.